What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of JK Sports. We're going over the NL's individual awards, the Cy Young, the MVP, and the Rookie of the Year. So start us off with the Cy Young, Keenan.
Well, as you know, the guy who's won it for the last couple of years, Clayton Kershaw is the heavy favorite.
Definitely.
There's a few guys who could make a run at him. Couple of guys who've been in the conversation before, a couple of guys who haven't. Wainwright is one of the other big-time guys who's got a shot. He's always going to be involved in the Cy Young conversation. Some other people who have kind of been there before, Strasburg, if he can put everything together. He definitely has the stuff to do it. It's just whether he can stay healthy and keep his control down, pretty much. I believe he won the AL Cy Young last year, Scherzer. I'm actually pretty sure he won it last year.
I'll check it.
He's now in the National League, so he's got a legitimate chance.
No more DH.
Yeah, no more dealing with the DH. And just like him, a guy who came over for the American League, who has been one of the best starters in the major. He's never won a Cy Young, but
Yep.
James Shields. Scherzer obviously now, I forgot to mention, with the Nationals, and Shields now.
And also verifying that Scherzer won the Cy Young.
He did.
In 2013, yeah.
Okay. Oh, 2013, not 14?
Mm-hmm. 2013.
Okay, so a couple years ago he won it. And then Shields coming over, and now he's with the Padres. So not only not having to deal with the DH and getting to face the pitcher about twice a game, because the pitcher does get subbed for a hitter by his third at bat usually, but also dealing with the Padres park and the pitcher's park that is. Shields should make a good run if he doesn't get hurt. Which is rarely the case with Shields. He's usually solid.
He gets them innings, yeah.
Yeah, he's solid for 200. Couple of guys who might come back from injuries and make a run. Your guy,
my boy,
Matt Harvey,
the Dark Knight.
Yep.
Yes, sir. He's back. Spring training, killing it.
And his rookie year, if he didn't get hurt, he probably would have made a run at it that year. But obviously had the Tommy John surgery, and now he should be back. And if he can stay healthy and repeat what he did coming into the league, he should be a monster. Another guy, I don't know if he'll get enough playing time to make a run at the Cy Young, but Jose Fernandez for the Marlins. If he can come back early enough and do what he did in his rookie year.
It's an upfield battle to come in around mid-season and try to overtake Kershaw or whoever.
Yeah.
That'll be tough.
But he's a guy who could do it.
He has, yeah.
Not saying he will, but the potential is there. Another guy coming off of an amazing playoff run, Madison Bumgarner for the Giants. The dude killed it in the playoffs. He's probably the main reason the Giants won the World Series, because he couldn't lose in the playoffs.
He was phenomenal.
So if he can continue that streak, he's got a real shot at the Cy Young. And this guy's not a dark horse. He had a Cy Young caliber year last year, but he hasn't really had that kind of season before. The potential's always been there, but Johnny Cueto with the Reds. If Kershaw doesn't do what he did last year, Cueto has the Cy Young last year. I don't think there's any question about it. He was just a monster.
It's just Kershaw exists.
Exactly. Unfortunately for Cueto and most other pitchers in the National League.
Yeah.
And pretty much all hitters in the National League. Unfortunately, Kershaw exists. And a dark horse who could get it, he's always had the potential, Garrett Cole. If he can come into his own this year and he can kind of be the ace of the staff for the Pirates, he could make a run at the Cy Young. I don't think he will, but like we've mentioned with a couple other people, the potential is there. Obviously, the 3 or 4 big favorites. Kershaw is number one, no question. Shields, coming in from the American League and moving into a pitcher's park, has a legitimate shot, and he's, like we said, he's always good for 200 innings. Scherzer coming in from the American League and not having to deal with the DH, and being in the National League East, where you have teams like the Braves and the Phillies to basically beat up on.
Especially the Phillies.
Yeah, especially the Phillies. And then Matt Harvey is probably the other big-time favorite if he can stay healthy. I have to lean towards Kershaw. His track record speaks for itself. I have to go with Kershaw for winning the Cy Young again.
I think there's little reason to believe anyone else would overtake him, but I'm going to go. Of course, I'm going to go with my boy Matt Harvey. When he was healthy, he was a monster. Now it seems like he's back. If you're going by spring training, he's just been mowing people down. I'm gonna roll with Harvey, but of course Kershaw is the favorite, and Scherzer is up there. Shields.
Yeah,
but I'm going with Harvey.
All right. So moving on to the MVP conversation, there are actually it could go a lot of different ways. There are so many potential MVP players in the National League. It's pretty ridiculous. And obviously Kershaw is included in that since he took it last year. But yeah, you got at the top of the list Andrew McCutchen, former MVP. You got Giancarlo Stanton, who maybe if he doesn't get hit in the face last year, he takes it. That was potentially there. I think I personally, even though I'm a Marlins fan, I still think Kershaw would have taken it, but Stanton would have put up a fight. My favorite player, regardless of team, Buster Posey, my boy from FSU, he's always in the conversation.
Ryan Braun, my boy from Miami.
A couple of guys from the Brewers, actually. Ryan Braun's one of them, and the second Cargo, Carlos Gomez.
Yeah, that one hurts. Former Met.
Yeah.
But, wow, has he put up that power? Where the hell did that come from?
He's got that 30-30 potential. Another guy with 30-30 potential is Yasiel Puig. I don't know if he'd have to work at his speed a little bit.
Yeah, he's
fast
for that. The big dude. Well, he's stocky.
Yeah, I don't think he has to put it all together mentally with him. Obviously, he's shown in the past he's flown off the handles a little bit.
He's an interesting guy.
Yeah, but the talent by far is there. Speaking of Cargo earlier, the original Cargo, Carlos Gonzalez, he's always a potential for that MVP vote.
The Rockies dudes, yeah.
Yep, and him and Tulowitzki. Both of those guys for the Rockies. The trouble with them is staying healthy. That's always the big question with those two. Mm-hmm. Another guy dealing with health, Joey Votto, dealt with a quad injury most of last year, only got to play 62 games. But he's a former MVP. So he always has that potential. Other than last year when he was dealing with the injury, he's always batting in the 300s. So that potential's always there.
And the power's it's a little baby park.
Yeah.
So the power can show up too.
Yeah. Two young guys who have always had the potential but never really come through with it, other than 1 year from Upton. Justin Upton and...
Is he still considered young, Justin Upton? How old is he now? I feel like he's been in the league forever.
I think he's 25 or 26.
Okay.
Which, for baseball, is young. But he has been in the league a while. He might be 27.
Okay.
But still, that's in his prime.
Yeah, he's 27.
27, okay.
He'll be 28 at the end of by the end of the season.
Okay, and then the other younger guy.
That's pushing it, calling him a young fella.
Well, compared to the rest of the people on this list, except for Stanton. Other than Stanton, he is young, and Harper, obviously Bryce Harper.
Well, Posey's comparable, probably. Isn't he in that range?
He's 28, 29, so yeah, he's close. But
Sure.
yeah, Bryce Harper's the
Point
other
stands.
young guy. All of the potential in the world is there, but he's either been dealing with injuries and they're always random injuries with him too. I think one time it was a dislocated thumb.
Really?
From sliding into third base.
Ah.
Another one, I think he had a shoulder injury. I forget. I think from diving in the outfield. Yeah, something always seems to slow him down. But obviously he's a monster talent. And then one of the last people on this list, we both love this guy. But he isn't the same player that he used to be, and that's Adrian Gonzalez with the Dodgers. He is easily one of the first basemen in the entire league, but he is getting up there, and I think he's, 31, 32 maybe now?
Yeah, he's in that. Yeah, he's around 32, I think.
Yeah. Obviously, two of the big favorites from the list we just said are Andrew McCutchen and Giancarlo Stanton, because McCutchen can pretty much do it all, and Stanton, with his potential power, and now with people in the lineup to protect him a little bit, he could definitely do some damage.
Who would be is he the cleanup hitter, or is he number 3?
Last year he was cleanup.
Who would be 5 in the lineup this year, what would you think?
This year, it could be Michael Morse.
Oh. That'd be good protection.
Yeah. Number 1 is definitely D. Gordon.
I forgot you guys got him.
Number 2 is going to be Yelich. Easy. 3 would probably be Ozuna.
Okay.
Then obviously Stanton, then Morse, then probably Prado. They got a solid lineup.
Decent lineup.
Solid lineup. And they even have Salty at catcher, Saltalamacchia.
Oh.
And Adeiny Echeverria has been a surprise at shortstop. And he's still young and growing. He's nothing special, but he's better than I thought he would be. And I can't think of who their other outfielder is. Oh no, I already said it. Ozuna and Yelich. So yeah, that's pretty much their lineup. So yeah, Stanton has a lot of help in that lineup now. I would have to say, it's between Stanton and McCutchen.
Yeah. Puig. It's just hard. Puig.
There's a lot of different ways
Gomez,
you could go.
Braun, if he posts, the suspension and all that stuff,
Yeah.
he comes back to himself. Posey. If I were to guess, I'd go with McCutchen. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just all around
Mm-hmm.
good. He's a threat every single where.
That'd be my prediction.
I
You'll
don't
go
know
with
if that's a
Stanton.
good phrase, what I just said, every single where, but...
All right, yeah.
But yeah,
So you're going with Stanton.
I think it's...
Choose one. Choose wisely.
It's so split between those two. I'm going to go with... To be different, I'll go with Stanton.
Okay. So you got Kershaw and Stanton.
Kershaw and Stanton.
I'll go with Harvey and McCutchen.
Okay. And now talking about the Rookie of the Year candidates, which, like we mentioned in the AL video, most of these guys you might not know. A couple you might know because they played a little bit last year, or have been big-time free agent signings. The first of which, the big free agent signing, was Yasmani Tomas.
Cuban defector, right?
Yes, that somehow Arizona Diamondbacks got. I don't know how, but yeah, he's a third baseman who could do really well. Another big time name, Jorge Soler. also a Cuban defector, but he's had time in the minors. He defected at the same time as Puig and was considered the better prospect.
Huh.
So, and he showed a little bit of that last year, really coming out and doing some work for the Cubs at the end of the year. But he's been able to retain his rookie status, so that's why he's in the conversation here. The Cubs are going to love this list, by the way. Another big guy that they have, Chris Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
Other than Byron Buxton, probably the best prospect in the minors. Another guy at third base.
Big time power.
Oh, yes. I think the leaders for home runs, there were 3 guys like in the minors last year. Bryant, I believe, was at the top of the list, followed by Matt Olson, who's a first base prospect for the A's, and another guy, I want to say Joey Gallo, who's a third base prospect for the Rangers, because he's a big-time home run hitter too. But Bryant was ahead of those guys, and he's an all-around player, which the other 2 I mentioned are purely home run hitters. So to keep up with those 2 guys and be all-around talented, he's a major prospect. Another international signee, Jung-Ho Kang.
Kang the Conqueror.
This guy loves Kang.
I like saying that.
Well, okay.
I really wanted the Mets to go after him. We don't have a shortstop. Again, we don't address the shortstop situation. And this dude hit a bunch of bombs in the Korean League, I believe.
I think so.
That could be off. But he hit bombs at shortstop. Like, that's hard. That's rarely seen nowadays. So I think that should have been. We should have went after him.
A priority.
Yeah, and the Pirates got him, right?
Yes, yeah, the Pirates were able to sign him.
Yeah, the Pirates and the Astros. I mean, New York is supposed to be a big time market, right?
And the Pirates actually have a decent shortstop. I think Kang is better, but Jody Mercer is no slouch at shortstop.
I don't know that dude.
He's a solid guy, but I think Kang is better.
That brings us to the point where the Mets have just no one. Like, you don't want to roll in with Ruben Tejada again. He had that one year where he had a good average, but outside of that, nothing much.
Speaking of the Mets,
here we go.
They've got a couple of pretty good pitching prospects.
Yeah.
Headlined, I would say Syndergaard is the better of the 2. Noah Syndergaard, by the way. Just monster stuff. I'm not familiar.
Ace potential.
Yes,
but
I'm not familiar with his control. If he's
that's the thing, that his floor is lower than the other Mets prospect, Montero. So that's the thing.
This is Rafael Montero, not Jesus Montero.
Oh yeah. Can we still call that guy a prospect?
No, but well, actually, I think he's in the minors now still. So
that's for other reasons. Yeah, Syndergaard has monster potential. He's got great stuff, but Montero not as highly touted, but just like DeGrom, showed up in the minors and does have the control.
Yeah, he's killed it in the minors.
I think this dude could have a DeGrom like rise in the system, and I think he's knocking on the door. He's closer than Syndergaard, in my opinion, to reaching the majors. And but there's no need right now. We've got the 5 starters, so if anything, they can.
If an injury happens,
exactly, and we don't have to rush them. So I wouldn't put them to be favorites really, unless something happens, and then we have to throw one of them into the fire. But Montero has been to the majors, so. If anyone, I would say Montero has a shot.
Another big name in the Rookie of the Year race is Jock Peterson, outfielder for the Dodgers. This guy has been tearing it up at AAA the last, I want to say, year and a half for the LA farm system, but they would have called him up a long time ago if the Dodgers didn't already have 4 outfielders in previous years. I mean, they just had nowhere to put him. Which is why they got rid of a couple of guys they did. Case in point, Matt Kemp. And they even tinkered with getting rid of Crawford because of this guy, Jock Peterson. He is just a monster. A lot of people have him as the favorite to win Rookie of the Year. So he could definitely do it. He's probably the best National League prospect not named Chris Bryant.
Yeah, unfortunately, Chris Bryant exists.
Yes.
For Peterson.
Now, the rest of the guys on this list, they're all pitchers. Archie Bradley, who's been in the minors for a few seasons now with the Diamondbacks, he has had ace potential for a while. The question with him was, like with most pitchers, control. But he can really rear back and throw. He can consistently hit 96, 97 and touch 100, 101. He's a big, but he's got the frame to support that kind of throwing too. He's got a frame very similar to Matt Harvey, so his body can hold up. Another guy, Aaron Nola, coming out of LSU.
He's a big dude, isn't he?
He's tall. He's not really big.
Oh, okay.
I want to say he's like somewhere in the 6'3" to 6'5" range, but he's not lanky, but he's not big.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's just really interesting that his last name's Nola and he went to LSU. It's kind of a coincidence.
Yeah.
Or is it?
That was interesting. Yeah, he was conceived there.
Yeah.
Just for that.
But he is a big-time prospect as a pitcher, and he's really a lot of the Phillies' future because the Phillies don't have a lot going for them right now.
He's 6'1", 195.
Wow,
he's not big.
He's smaller than I thought.
That is a tiny person.
Wow, that surprises me a little bit. That changes my opinion of him, but not by a lot because he knows how to work the strike zone. Another guy is Kyle Crick for San Francisco. For you Giants fans, if you like Matt Cain, you are going to love Kyle Crick because he is a carbon copy of Matt Cain.
Why wouldn't you love Matt Cain if you're a Giants fan?
Because he doesn't really strike out a lot of people.
Come on. Those are sexy stats.
But Kyle Crick is just like him in almost every single way. The only difference is, as a prospect, I don't know if he throws as hard as Matt Cain did as a prospect. Obviously, Cain doesn't throw that hard now. Cain sits around 91, 92, and he gets the job done with that. Crick is probably more around 93, 94, and he can touch 96, 97. Matt Cain, when he was a prospect, was right around there, a little bit harder, though. And this last guy, I struggle with his last name. I'm just laying that down right here now. Mike Foltynewicz, I believe, is how it's said. I could be very wrong there.
Foltynewicz.
It's F-O... I'm just going to spell it. It's Foltynewicz. So, he was a prospect who came out of nowhere for the Astros, but was traded to the Braves. So now he is in the National League. He's with the Braves farm system, which, as a pitcher, speaks highly. Any pitcher in the Braves farm system, I'm going to trust in. And he is a flamethrower. He would consistently throw 97 and 98 and would touch 100, 101 miles per hour. And his frame doesn't look like he would do that. Much like another pitcher we've talked about in the past, Yordano Ventura, who can do the same thing with a frame that you wouldn't think so. But he definitely has some flamethrower stuff. Once again, the big issue with him is control. So, as with most prospect pitchers. So, of that list, the big-time guys are, as we said, Jock Peterson, Jorge Soler, Chris Bryant, and Yasmani Tomas, because he's kind of an unknown quantity. From what we've seen from Cuban defectors, we all like what we see.
Right.
But still, he's not the same person as the rest of these people, so he might not do the same.
Right.
But judging on what we've seen in the past, he should project very well. Of those guys, I'm going to say Jorge Soler. Just because of me knowing him from when he defected at the same time as Puig and was considered the better prospect, and seeing what Puig has done, I think Soler takes Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
Plus, the small sample size we saw last year really speaks very well for him.
My pick, despite not coming out on the opening day roster, because the Cubs want to control him for an extra year, I'm going to go with Chris Bryant.
You think he does the Longoria?
Yeah, I think he's going to come out and he's going to beast, and they're going to give him every opportunity. I think he's going to be the favorite to win it. Too.
He is a monster.
Yeah.
You could be very right, and the Cubs look very good in the future. I mean, both of our picks they're Cubbies, and that's not the only young talent they have. I mean, we also could have put Addison Russell on this list, but there's such a stopgap at shortstop. Like, we couldn't put him on there because
Baez just missed eligibility.
Yeah, his rookie year was last year, and so. And Alcantara, the guy who was a shortstop, they moved him to second. Is another guy.
The future is bright, and you're in the hands of Joe Madden, so
yeah,
the future is bright in Chicago.
Yeah, it looks very good for the Cubs. Their drought, I'm not going to say is over this year, but it could very well be over sometime in the next 5 years, easily.
I hope so. My God, a century.
Yeah.
Over a century is a bit much.
Yeah. So those are our picks. I got Kershaw for the Cy, Stanton for the MVP, and Soler for rookie.
I got Harvey, McCutchen, and Bryant. So, yeah, let us know who you guys think is going to win any of those awards. And remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below if you have any other feelings. And watch out for other videos. See ya.
Bye.